Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Alrighty, so temporary new setup, don't get used to it. I'm just using it for this video because I want to go over all the books that I have on my physical TBR. Why? I don't know. I thought that this would be a fun video idea. So let's just go through all of the physical books that I have on my TBR and try to see when the hell I'm going to read them all, because yes, there are a lot, and I'm making a note to myself to not buy any new books until I get through all of these, which will take a while, honestly. So anyway, let's get into that. And if you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts down below. Anyway, let's start. First up, we have Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I'm not exactly sure what this is about. I've had it on my TBR for like years at this point, and I believe it's about a guy who gets like trapped in space. He's like on a space voyage or something with a bunch of other crew, but all the other crew are like gone, missing, dead, something of the sort. So he's like all alone in space and is like just trying to figure it out. That's what I believe that this is about. I've tried for years to like find it on audio in all honesty, but I just couldn't find it on audio anywhere. I couldn't find it on Spotify, not in English anyway. I couldn't find it on Hoopla or Libby or anything. So I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. We are going to get it on physical. And I know the movie's coming out soon. I'm not sure if I want to watch the movie first or if I want to read the book first, but so I don't know exactly. But if I decide to read the book first, I might push this up on my TBR, honestly, because I am excited about it. I have been wanting to get to it, and if the movie seems good, and I want to read this first, then it's like, well, the sooner the better, honestly. So yeah, so adult sci-fi. That is going to be the only sci-fi on this list because even though I do like sci-fi, it is not one of my like most read genres. So next up we have an adult thriller called The Stranger Upstairs by Lisa Matlin. When I did get this and I did read the description of this, I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. Like I am very excited to read this. For context, like I have like 500 books on my Goodreads TBR, so like I can't exactly remember what every single one of them is about. I just remember that I do want to read them all eventually. So this is basically about this woman who buys this house and she is renovating this like fixer-upper house and she's like, okay, this is gonna be a fun project, new chapter in our life with me and my husband and our failing marriage and whatever. Like, this is gonna bring us together, blah 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 blah. But as she gets further into the renovations of this house, she starts uncovering like the weird, dark, twisted legacy of this property and everyone who lived here and everything. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, this is creepy. I'm officially creeped out now. So I thought the cover was very gorgeous. Look at the cover. That's so freaking pretty. So I'm very excited to read this. It's very short too, but like there are some times when like I'm reading and I get into a reading slump and then like I need something like just quick, short that I can like accomplish very quickly. So I think once I hit that mood again, I think that this will be that book that I go to. Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe. Oh my God, I am very excited to read this. I really, really am. This is another one that I tried to get on audio, and I just really couldn't find it anywhere. I think it's on Spotify, but I don't exactly know. But yeah, this is a lot longer than I thought it was originally. But anyway, I believe that this one is like this like 1950s contemporary lesbian love story, talk about like, oh, queerness is kind of illegal right now in America, but like we are at this club where it's like a safe space and everything. The Telegraph Club is a very nice safe space for us all lesbians and whatever. So I'm very excited to read this. I am quite excited to get to that at some point. Next we have Love in Focus by Lila Lee. Oh my God. I am so curious about this one. I've been meaning to expand my physical romance collection because I do love romance. Romance is my second favorite genre, right after fantasy, but I mostly read romances on audio, so I don't have too many physical books in my collection of romances, which is crazy because, again, like I said, romance is like my second favorite genre. But, anyways, it's basically this like second chance romance, exes to lovers situation between this like romance columnist and this like photographer, and they are put on a project together, and it's like, well, we got unresolved baggage, but it's like, you know what? The feelings are still there. Let's give it a chance. Let's give it a chance. So I'm very excited to get to that. Oh my god. And then after that, we have The Entanglement of Rival Wizards by, sorry, Sarah Rasch. I'm sorry if I pronounced her name wrong. I'm so sorry. But anyway, look at this. This is so pretty with sprayed edges on the back. Anyway, this is like a contemporary light fantasy about these like two dudes who are wizards. They are at a magic university and they are both competing for like the same scholarship. And it's kind of like a rivals to lovers sort of thing, you know? But, you know, during this whole process of them being like, competing for the same scholarship and being put up on like group projects for classes and whatever, they're like, you know what, we got to spend a lot of time with each other. So it's like, you're hot, I'm hot. Why not? Why not? So I'm very excited to get to those two at some point. Moving right along into fantasy, we have this behemoth right here, The Priory of the Orange Tree, darling. Now, I got this on audio at one point from my library, but my library has this thing where it's like on audio, you can only check out things for like a week. Well, on the Libby app specifically. On the Hoopla app, you can check things out for a month. But on the Libby app specifically, you can only check out audiobooks for a week. And when I saw that this was like 20 or 30 hours on audio, I was like, hell no. Hell no, I'm not finishing that in a week. I know that if I try to push myself to do that, I'm going to end up hating my experience with this, and that's not fair to the author. So, you know what? I figured it's huge as fuck. I need to get it on physical if I'm going to read it at some point. So, I asked for this for Christmas, and my mother also got me the prequel for Christmas too. A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. Oh, they're both by Samantha Shannon, obviously. So I really hope that I like Priory or the Orange Tree, so that so that this behemoth also doesn't go to waste. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure what this is about. I just keep remember hearing over the years that it's really good. It's East Asian fantasy. I love East Asian fantasy, and it also is queer. Like I think it's lesbians. I think so. I think it's sapphic. So I'm really excited for that. I really, really am. And I'm just excited to know what the hell this is, what the hell the hype is about, but I'm also scared. I'm also scared because it's like, what, like 700, 800, 1,000 pages, something like that. Next, we have Daughter of the Moon Goddess and Never Ever After, both by Su Lin Tan. Now, I believe that this is going to be my next physical read after I finish Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So, Daughter of the Goddess is next up on my TBR, so it'll be read soon. But I've been wanting to get these for a while because, whenever I went on Instagram for a while there, I kept seeing like these gorgeous, gorgeous covers and everything. And I was like, oh my God, what is that? And I kept like, and I was like reading the descriptions of these like gorgeous books and like being like, okay, this sounds really, really interesting. I believe that this is like sort of like a Cinderella retelling. I'm not exactly sure. Don't quote me on that. I forgot what this is about. I remember seeing it like back in like 2021 or so and being like, okay, this sounds cool. It's like, like another like East Asian fantasy. I love Asian fantasy. I just think that they're really cool, and really unique. I love fantasy of all times. Let me put that out. I love like East Asian fantasy. I love African fantasy. I love Latinx fantasy. I need to read more Latinx fantasy. I really, really do. I love American fantasy. The only fantasy that I'm not really a huge fan of is like medieval fantasy, just because like medieval stuff has always been very boring to me. I'm sorry, like medieval Europe has always been a very, very boring setting to me with all of its tropes and everything. It really, really has. Like, I'm so sorry. I do like fantasy, but like when you start getting it into like, the ye old witch and the goblins and the dragons and whatever and like the knights and whatever. I'm just like, I'm bored. I'm bored. Like, okay, girl. Anyway, like, girl, anyway. But anyway, back on topic, back on topic. So I kept seeing these like gorgeous books on Instagram, and I kept seeing the descriptions, and they sounded really really interesting. And like over the years, I realized like, oh my God, all of these like gorgeous floral books that I keep seeing and like keep hearing about, and they're like sound really really good. They're all by the same author. They're all by Sue Lin Tan. So it's like, hello? I kind of need to get her some of her books because I've got basically her entire bibliography saved to my Goodreads at this point. Like, why am I not reading her at this point? So yeah, so I got a few of her books, and I'm really really excited to get to her work. I am confident. I'm confident that I will enjoy all of these. You know, obviously, or else I wouldn't have asked for them. But I'm especially confident that I will like Su Lin Tan. I don't know. I just have that feeling. I really, really have that feeling that something about her writing is just going to click for me. Like, and I'm really hoping that I'm correct on that. Anyway, next up we have Silver Under Nightfall by Rin Peko. I am so excited to get to this. I started reading it last year and I got a decent way into it, but I was reading it on audio and I was reading it on Spotify and I knew that like it was so long that like even if I used up my time for the month that I was reading it and all of my listening hours for the next month that I just was not going to finish it. So I was like, you know what? I just need to get it on physical at that point. I really, really do. And I meant to read it by now. I really, really did. You know, it's like vampires and stuff. So I was like, okay, you know what? Halloween, October, but October last year was hellfire for me. October last year was one of the worst months of my life, so I just was really not up in the mind space for this at that point. But I'm hoping like this October I get back into it and actually reread and finish it at this point because when I was originally reading it before I stopped and put it on a I'll return to it someday list. I was really like, okay, this is cool. This is really, really cool. I'm really into this. I'm liking all the characters. I'm liking the world. I'm liking what's going on. So like I really am hopeful that like the rest of the book when I get to it will be very very interesting. It's basically this like adult fantasy like it's got like vampires. It's about this like vampire hunter who is like raised to like believe that like the vampires are evil and all this stuff and then he like meets these like really hot vampires and gets like involved with them a little bit and realizes that like oh, vampires as a whole they're not evil like I thought they were. Like it was just a few bad apples, and they're actually really stigmatized. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Maybe they're actually really marginalized class. And like I'm also kind of really falling for these two that are really hot. Hold on. Hold on. In all honesty, I originally wanted to get this as like a to like see if it was like a good comp title for a book of my own that I wrote, but um but like beyond that, I really did start legitimately liking it on its own. So I really am excited to get back into this and finish it because I really do think it could be a five-star read. I really do think that it could be a five-star read, in all honesty. I feel like I'm rambling in this video, but it's like, oh well. Oh well, you know what? Most people have probably already clicked off of this video by now just because they're like, girl, get to the point. You are fucking rambling on and on and on. But you know what? It's my channel. I can ramble as long as I want. I'm the one who has to edit these damn videos anyway. When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I got this one and also the one that we'll talk about next when I was very much like, okay, I need to read more romantasy. This was at the end of like 2024 when I had this idea. I was like, I need to bring more romantasy. I love romance, I love fantasy, but I haven't really found what I love in romantasy just yet. So maybe I just need to explore more, open my horizons little bit more, read a little bit more, become a little bit more well read in the subgenre before I decide whether I like romantasy or not. You know. So yeah, so I got When the Moon Hatched because it sounded interesting and everyone was like really really hyped about it. Well, in all honesty, it was one of those books where it was like you either love it or you hate it. Like I saw like some people say that this is like a really really good book. You know, the world building and everything, the plot, the romance, it's so top notch. And then I saw other people being like, okay, this is just TikTok slop. Like it sucks. Blah blah blah. So you know, very love or hate it. Very love or hate it. Which I'm not opposed to that. I do have quite a few books that I have read where they are very much love or hate. Specifically, like all of Stephanie Garber's work. Like I do love Stephanie Garber, but she is very much an author where it's like you either love or hate her work. But anyway, this one, I'm excited to get to it, but I also again, she's thick. She's thick. Like we love a thick book, but like that's also intimidating. So you know, I think it. I and also like, girl, the font size. The font size is pretty small. So it's like we're this thick. We have like 600, 700, 800 pages, something like I think it's like 700 pages. It's like 700 pages with tiny font. Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. So there's that. Next up, we have The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. This just sounded really cool. I think it's about this like lady who like infiltrates the like upperclassmen for some reason. I don't exactly remember why she infiltrates the upper elite, but she like goes to the palace and like infiltrates their ball and stuff. I think that that's what this is about, you know. Oh, I forgot to mention what this is about. This one, I don't know what it's about. So but yeah, this one sounded interesting. I was like, okay, this kind of sounds like the fantasy that I used to read when I was a teenager, but kind of like for an adult level. So like I'm kind of interested. I'm kind of interested. I'm kind of here for it. But also again, she's huge. And well, like we love that. But like I'm scared. So like yeah, so I do hope that I like this. Although I will say, when it comes to books like these, when I figure out like that there is like multiple books in the series, I think that this is like a trilogy or something. But like when I figure out that there's like multiple books to series like these and they're like huge, I'm like I'm scared. I'm scared that I will love the first one and that I will want the second and third one so badly because I know that I'm going to take forever reading this. I know that I'm going to take forever reading this. That is honestly why when I was gifted an Ember in the Ashes like several years ago, I was scared to read that book because I knew that there were more books in that series, and I was like, okay, what if I really love this and it's going to take me forever to get through the entire series? But now I'm like, Salvatore is one of my favorite authors. She is. So it's like, you know what? We got to face our fears because you know what, similar to that situation, this could be a situation where it's like, okay, it's huge, but it's going to be one of my favorite books of all time. This could be one of my favorite authors of all time. So you know what, we just got to brave it. We got to brave it. Next we have The Familiar by Lee Bardugo. Now, I have read all of the Grishaverse stuff, so I was like, you know what? I do like Lee Bardugo. I do like her work, and you know what? I've never read anything outside of the Grishaverse, so you know what? I kind of want to. It was between either this or the like, Alex Jones, Alex Hester, Alex whatever. The one about the demons at the college or whatever, that series that she has. And I heard like a lot of conflicting things about that series where like a lot of people were like, like, eh. So I was like, okay, maybe that's not the best place to get exposed to Lee's work outside of Grishaverse. So then I saw this, and I was like, oh, okay, this sounds cool. This sounds really interesting. Oh, I love the sprayed edges, by the way. They're very, very pretty. So I was like, you know what? It's like kind of French. It's either French or Spanish. French or Spanish in colonial times, I think. I think. Don't quote me on that. But like I think that that's when it takes place. So I was like, okay, a little historical, a little historical. I'm curious, I'm curious, I'm curious. So I am very excited to finally read Lee Bardugo outside of the Grishaverse and see whether I like it or not. Whether I like Lee Bardugo's writing as a whole or whether I just like her writing in the Grishaverse. This could be a very interesting way to find out. So yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna get to that. I've been meaning to get to that for a while, but The final fantasy that we have on this list is Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen. This is a YA fantasy. It is about this mermaid who like saves this human from like drowning, and like all the other mermaids are like, "Bitch, what the fuck is wrong with you? We don't get involved with those people, and now you have just put all of us in danger." So she like goes on this quest to like, try and like redeem herself and all this stuff. And it's like, "Ooh, okay. Mermaids." Specifically black mermaids. We love black authors around here. And so I'm thinking, mermaids, ocean, stuff like that. I'm thinking of reading this in the summer, probably like July, because like I feel because like July is like the summer month. It's also my month because my birthday is in July, so July is my month. So, but summer is July, July is summer. So you know what? Mermaids, ocean. I'm thinking this will be a summer read in all honesty, because it just makes sense. It just makes sense, and I'm very excited to get to that because I do love mermaids. I really, really do. I need to read more mermaid books. I really do. I think that this will actually be my first mermaid book, in all honesty, which is kind of insane because I really do like mermaids as a concept. One thing about me when it comes to like mythical creatures, I do gravitate towards the more like girly magical creatures, like the mermaids, the unicorns, the stuff like that. The Pegasus, I gravitate more towards stuff like that. In addition to like wizards, witches, and stuff like that. If it's like a magical girl theme, I gravitate towards those like magical creatures and stuff, whatever. I don't really gravitate towards like the more traditional goblins and trolls and giants and all that kind of stuff. I'm just like, girl, boring. That they don't have the right slay factor for me. So like, like the mermaids, the unicorns, stuff like that. I gravitate towards those stuff. So I'm really excited to read my first mermaid book. Anyway, for our last two books, we of course have to go to A Galaxy Far, Far Away because I am a fucking nerd. So we have Star Wars, The Acolyte, The Crystal Crown by Tessa Gratton. Now, this one and the other one, they're both Acolyte books, and I freaking love Acolyte. I'm so sorry. Acolyte is one of the best Star Wars shows. It really, really is. It might be the best Star Wars show, in all honesty. Like, I'm sorry. Y'all, if you disagree, go away. Go away, blocked. I'm sorry. This is not a safe space for acolyte hate. Listen, I am a sequel stan, so I am used to my Star Wars stories being dogged on and whatever, and being called like dragged through the mud and whatever. But when it comes to acolyte, I'm like, no, bitch, y'all are not gonna fucking drag this. Y'all are not gonna drag this in my presence. So like, don't even start. Don't even start. Anyway, I love the Acolyte. It needs a second season. It needs like a second, third, fourth, fifth season, in all honesty. So yeah, but like when there were like books coming out, I was like, absolutely, absolutely. I don't even know what they're about. I just know that it's Acolyte, and I love all the characters in that show. So like, obviously, I'm going to fucking read the books. I don't know if they're going to be good or not. I don't even know what they're about. I think that this one is about Jackie and Yor going on like a Jedi mission somewhere. Like, I don't know. But now I think that this one's young adult. I think that this one's young adult and the other one is adult. Let me pull up the other one right now. The other Acolyte book that we have is Star Wars The Acolyte Wayseeker by Justina Ireland. This is about the lady who gets murdered at the very beginning of the show. I forget her name. I'm so sorry. The lady with the green saber. She was cool in the like 5 minutes she was on screen, but she died at the very beginning, so I forget her name. And it's also about Vernestra Rowe, who pops up a lot in the High Republic books, which I'm very excited. I'm very excited. I freaking loved Vernestra. I really, really did. She was so fucking cool. She really, really was. I loved Jackie too. Jackie is Ahsoka Tano's spiritual daughter, even though like Jackie was born hundreds of years before Ahsoka. But like Ahsoka's my favorite character, so of course I loved Miss Jackie over here, especially in the fight with Kamir. Like I was like, go girl, like. Oh my God, I was so sad when she got killed because it's like, girl, you just gave us one of the best live action fights of all time, and you had to die for it. Like, ugh. Anyway, we also have this Wayseeker. It's about Vernestra and that other lady who dies at the beginning, and I'm very excited to get to this. I think that this one is adult, in all honesty, but yeah, I love Acolyte. I freaking loved that show. I'm so excited to get to those books at some point. I don't know when I will get to those books at in all honesty, I don't know when I'm going to get to any of these books. The joys of being a mood reader, in all honesty, because I'm just like, what am I in the mood for? Eeny, meeny, that one. Like that's kind of how it is being a mood reader. Like I try to plan out like okay, I think I'll read this one, then this one, then this one, and then I'm always like, you know what? I found something new. I found something new to be in the mood for. So it's like I don't know when the hell I'm gonna get to any of these, but I'm hoping to get through all of these at least by the end of next year. At least by the end of next year. So yeah. But anyway, anyway, that is all of the books on my physical TBR. How many is that in all honesty? Let me count real quick. 16. 16 books on my physical TBR. And that is not even counting my Hunger Games reread that I'm doing this year. So yeah. So that's a lot. So that's a lot. Anyway, I need to get faster at reading physically. My mind gets very, very distracted, so it kind of is hard for me to just like sit down and just like stop and just like focus on one thing at a time. And you can tell because it takes me forever to do anything. It really, really does. It takes me forever to read something. It takes me forever to write something. It takes me forever to get chores done. I just because my mind is always like, okay, I need to start this. I'm starting this. Ooh, I'm getting distracted now, and now I need to go do something else. And it's like, girl, we need to, we need to get that under control. Like we need to get the attention span back under control or whatever. So hopefully some of these longer books will help me with that. Will help me get my attention span back under control and make it longer again. Anyway, I'm very excited to get to all of these books. That is everything on my physical TBR. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and also comment your thoughts on any of these books down below. And yeah, if you have read any of these books, tell me whether they are good or bad so that I can manage my expectations accordingly. Anyway, I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!